This is a video on ohm checking injectors. It's just a project that's been going on a particular tune port injection car. If you follow this one, if no, you're just finding this video for ohm checking injectors. This applies to just about any regular type fuel injector, probably from the, pick a year, from the 80s, mid 80s to the 2000s. Does not apply to direct injection. Those may have different resistance, but every injector has a factory spec ohm to it, and some of them are hard to find, some of them are not. These particular ones are supposed to be about 14 to 15 ohms. Now, in a general rule, it's about 10 to 19 ohms is where these type of fuel injectors run. That's the general rule. So I think if one of these was in the 10s and one of these was in 19s, they're probably okay. There's a wide spread. Now, if they're just dead like this, an open lead, well, you know the injector's dead. If you cannot put anything across these and dead, they're dead. If they're a dead short, then that's another story too, because they could have a wire that's burned inside of it, the coil's burned and it's just dead shorted, and so that injector's generally no good. So we're going to ohm check these across. Like I said, I haven't done this. This is a bare test on these particular injectors. I'm curious to see what they had. They say they're supposed to be 14. So let's see what we get out of them. I'm using a fluke meter. I usually use one of these because I'm just more proficient at it. But this is more for this test here. Set it on the lowest ohm rating on the fluke. We've got it on ohms, and we have it on the 200 ohms, which is going to be anything up here is not going to work on this particular test, or it's going to, you're going to have to extrapolate the numbers. So trying to do this with one hand. There we go. See what we have. Well, look at that. 14.5, 14.4, 14.3, 14.4. So that's right in the factory spec. Now we're going to do each of them. So what do we got here? Well, look at that. 14.3. Pretty well matched, at least on the coil anyway. 14.4. 14.4. I'm going to flip this rail around so I don't have to reach over. And of course that hits the meter, and the wires are now underneath it, so give me a second. One-handed work. Okay. One-handed testing. And you have to put it across the leads. There's not a ground to this, so you have to go straight across the two leads. So 14 point, I'm not holding that very well. There we go. 14.5, 14.4 point. So yeah, everything so far is right in the range. 14.3, wow. 14.2. And 14.3. So yeah, these injectors are all very well matched. So that's a good deal. Now, this particular application, we've got it off the car, and I never had a problem with these injectors. I cleaned them on the bench, which I did in another video, and I am just testing them via the ohms just for my own peace of mind. They worked fine before. This wasn't even the issue with the car. We had a head gasket issue, so this was just all off the car, and I'm going through things just to make sure. But if your injector is in the car, as long as you can get the plug off of it, this test still applies. So the injector can be in the car. You can test it. So if you're having a problem with the injector and you think it may be an electrical issue or the coil going bad in the injector or something like that, that's an easy test. So like I said, between 10 and 19, and if you're dead shorted like this, then your injector's got a problem for sure. If you are open like this and you get nothing out of it, the injector's just flat dead. So it's either shorted or it's gone, just burned out. So those are the injector basic electronic tests. Nothing real scientific there. I said, if you look up your injector, every injector has a number on it. And most of these numbers, especially now, can be found online. So if you Google that particular injector number here, it will tell you what it is. This is a 38-pound injector, and I kind of looked it up and found out that the ohm specs were pretty much where they're supposed to be right now. So that you can do that on each one of yours. And again, like I said, you don't have to be that exact with it. As long as you get a test and you're having an issue, a misfire or something like that, just do that test. And if it's between 10 and 19 ohms, more than likely your injector is good. If it gives you one of the other dead or open readings, and then, or a shorter open reading, then it's no good. So that's not the only injector test. Of course, you have clog injectors, but that's a mechanical issue, not an electrical issue. So hope that helps.